into this evening's live, I'd like to go over a few areas that I know are very important. Some include the technical analysis, and some include some of the news we found out here in the last several hours or so, including some official documents I have for us during this evening's live. So the story as of late here, outside of the technical analysis, as we can see, we're up 0.75%, up just over 56 cents. We're still within a descending consolidation, just over the 2018 resistance that we are desperately attempting to flip to support. We still are asking ourselves the question, is there going to be a market-wide dump before the rate cut, as we've already experienced somewhat, and then it'll be like a sell the rumor, buy the news event instead of a buy the rumor, sell the news, because it's already been more of a sell-off since the expectation now is that there's going to be a rate cut here in September. I believe it's in about a week and a half or so, maybe 2 weeks still, when we do the rate cut. Well, it'll be the next meeting, but it'll end up being a rate cut. But before we can even get there, and this should put a damper a little bit probably on some of the upward movements or upward price action, the Ripple and SEC agree to a stay of 125 million judgment, hinting at an appeal. And then we'll go over the official document and what we need to read here. I actually wanted to get more than just that first page, so what I'm going to do is go to James K. Phelan. And we'll end up finding it through his official X account. That'll just be the easiest way for us to get all of our information. I highly encourage everybody, if you are watching me right now, to follow James K. Phelan on YouTube. I mean on X, because he always shares all the official documents. So just as I suspected, he would have it here. So the Ripple has filed a letter requesting a stay of the monetary portion of the court's judgment entered on August 7, 2024. The SEC has consented to the request for a stay. So we'll read through these documents together here. So make sure you continue watching the live. Make sure you hit that like button so YouTube does recommend this live. It would be greatly appreciated, as viewers as a whole in the XRP community are down. I'm not talking about on videos. I'm talking about XRP traders, XRP holders, or XRP speculators. The buzz is down. There's not as many people that are interested. And I dare say, based on just some of the comments I've seen, not only in my community, but across social media, the general narrative now is most of the people that were getting behind XRP as far as retail have just now universally agreed that it's a pile of garbage. So when this happens, these are the times when we can have, uncertainty, but it can also lead to big moves and shifts within the market. And within the XRP market cap. So please make sure to hit that like button so YouTube does recommend this live. And I will catch you on the other side of the intro. I'll fall asleep real quick. So 6:30. You might probably be asleep all night. Okay. Okay. Good evening. 6:31 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Wednesday, September 4th, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So welcome in, everybody. Messi, welcome in. Mo, good evening, along with Rob. Thank you both for being in Tom's Army for 6 months plus with the XP Predictor. Ed, welcome in. Says, glad you're okay. Yes, I'm doing just fine, my friend. Doing just fine indeed. Just been a little busy here. The kids started school. Between my son's school, the girls, and his physical therapies and stuff, it's been a little busy. But I mean, I guess we picked a good time because the buzz has definitely died down around XRP. And we're going to have to find a way to bring back the community as far as a whole. As far as, the positivity, the excitement, the overzealous opportunity that we're within. I believe that is starting to wane on most people's minds. I believe that they've had enough. And just the general narrative, I can see it now. I think this, as well as what happened today, I think a lot of people are like, you know what? There's no point for me even to watch it. Wake me up when it hits $1. And I think that's the general narrative now. I think that's a dangerous narrative, because if you want to be woken up when it hits $1, you're going to miss so many opportunities along the way. That's just the way it goes. So what do we have to look at here? We'll look at the technical analysis very briefly for about 5 to 10 minutes. And then I want to get into the reading about what we're talking about here with the stay and why there's been a delay now. Ripple does not have to pay on September 7th. Was it the 5th or the 7th? Whenever they were supposed to pay, they don't have to cut a check now. And the SEC, along with Ripple, it's been agreed upon. So we'll take a look at that information here just shortly. So XRP right now, just about 56 cents. It's been in a basic consolidation here. We came down, we hit a third time on this downtrending support. It expanded the pattern just a little bit, but it stayed within that downtrending support after the first 2 hits. Bounced volatilely here. Now, if we're going to have some kind of move, it'll happen now. There's no reason to even sugarcoat it. If we're going to do it, it's going to happen now. We got a technical bull flag with this inverse head and shoulders built right here, but it came all the way down here and built a full flag here. So yes, it'll satisfy the need when it gets up here right around 57. But if we can break out of the short-term consolidation, that does tend to lead us to a technical move up of 60.9 cents. Now, that same technical move could be felt to the downside, but right now we are hugging the downtrending resistance. Like, we're closer to the downtrending resistance to the support structure. So now we're on a move up to resistance. If we can bust that, the technical target's right up there around 60 cents. If we get rejected, we start coming back down and we lose 54.7. Well, that starts to bring it back towards the bearish support structure. And then it would end up being, hey, you know, if we lost 52.6, it would guarantee us down to, you know, around the 48.7 cents. Maybe a little lower if it had to come back down now. Lee, if the SEC appeals, I would hope that Ripple XP will move across the waters and leave America to crumble. I understand that. I understand that totally. That perspective. Rob Holkalik, welcome in, and thank you for being in Tom's Army for many, many months now. I so greatly appreciate that. So greatly appreciate it. I appreciate all the support, but more importantly, I appreciate everybody who stays committed during these times when it doesn't seem like there's any reason why. Daniel, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your second month with the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News. Sully Mode, welcome in. Smashing in Texas. I told you, Tom, I'm going to buy another 3,000. You sure did. You sure did. But we'll see. We'll see if that comes sooner or later. Because, you know, when you have these descending consolidations, they technically can be a hinting at a bullish breakout. We see that we have this inverse head and shoulders that still looks like it's set up to me. We just had an overzealous right arm that we expected. If it came down, could happen. We've had a volatile push back up. And it's kind of condensed here. We're over the 2018 resistance that needs to be flipped to support, and right now it is. We bounced off 54.7 again, which is good news. And if you're new, we'll go back in the Wayback Machine real quick for anybody who's new. I don't suspect it to be a large audience this evening, as I think in cryptocurrency you're going to notice it's going to start waning here for the next month or two. And then towards, I would say, around when you see the pumpkins, out, and 4 weeks after that is when everybody will start to slowly eke back in. And then by the time November rolls around, we see it every single year. About third week in November towards Thanksgiving, we start to see a little bit of buzz turn back in, but it's oftentimes too late because the pre-Halloween dump that generally occurs or leading into Halloween and just after is already passed, and then most people come back in because of a rally. So we'll see what happens. $3.31 is all-time highs on January of 2018. We came down, and that's resistance 1. Support 1 took 27 months, and these are still the swing high and swing low of the formation. And it happened on March of 2020 at 10.8 cents. Then we had support 2 right here around 18.2 cents. And that's on December of 2020. End of December, early January. Then we had resistance 2, as we all know, the epic move up in April 2021, right around when I first started my channel. My channel is about, let's see, when that happened, all of a month old. So we had a fire start, and it was really fun. That's resistance 2. Support 3 down here we hit. We count it right here where it actually bounced off the support. And that's at about 30.3 cents. And this occurred in January of 2023. Now we had resistance 3 that confirmed the pattern up here at 74.8 in March of 24. And we're still within this pattern. It's been many, many years, over 6.5 years. Then we came all the way back down, bounced on support right here at 40.1 cents roughly, and that was in July of this year. August of this year, we had another bearish rejection, a 4th one, or July. And now August into September, we're trying to see if we can flip this now and make this area of support. If that happens, we did create a W reversal here. It's getting a little messy here just with all of the labels, but they're necessary. I mean, we're stuck in this zone right now. So that's something we're going to be monitoring, whether or not this breaks out or breaks down. If it's over the 2018 resistance like it is, it gives you a hope that it could stay over. But until it starts breaking out to these upward levels and XRP knocks out this cup and handle resistance and gets above that rising channel resistance, it's still overtly bearish. And it really is at this point conflicting indicators, or conflicting patterns even, but the price action's conflicting. Long term, it looks great. Short term, we're just not sure. Short term, it looks a little bearish. You know, it looks a little bearish. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It just looks a little bearish here. The weekly engulfed all the way down. Now, could that have just been a tap to the support? Maybe. Because we have pulled up here a little bit. Could we flip this? Possibly. But it looks bearish right now. And the weekly still got a long ways to go. We're only halfway, not even halfway through the week. So we're going to find out a lot here with the XRP charts. Now, if we're looking for some positivity, that there wasn't going to be an appeal and that we're going to get some upward momentum because Ripple decided to put in for the fine and yada, 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 that's going to go to the wayside because of what's happening. Yeah, Smashing in Texas says, everyone, don't forget to smash that like button on the way in before you forget. Like I almost said, excellent for reminding everybody. Yes, please make sure to hit that like button. Otherwise, YouTube won't recommend my content. And if they don't recommend it, when someone's scrolling through the YouTube news feed or just the search bar, my content won't pop up. So if you've never heard of my content, you have no chance of finding it. And if you have, you still probably have no chance of finding it. Out of sight, out of mind, as I say. So hitting that like button is tremendous. Just tremendous. Lucky, thank you, my friend. Great channel. Tom says, packing my XRP bags as always. Keep up the good work. Love your straightness. I really appreciate that. Appreciate that. And he's not talking my sexual orientation after all. I shoot the chart straight, and I don't lie. All right, so let's read this news. I know everybody's going to want to. Let's read the backstory. Actually, you know what? No, let's not read the backstory. Let's just get into this. So Ripple has filed a letter requesting a stay of the monetary portion of the court's judgment. Hey, Mr. Carter, welcome in. Hashtag M2C Mother Second Choice. Thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XRP 589 Moon Badge. And he says, hit that like button. Don't disappoint indeed. JW, thank you for being in Tom's Army for over a year with the I Told You So badge. Appreciate you as always. Syrian, our trusted mod, is in the house. Been in Tom's Army for 3 months plus with the XRP Meteor, along with Mark Casson. Thank you both so much for being in Tom's Army for 3+ months with the XRP Meteor. It means a lot to me, actually. So Ripple has filed a letter requesting a stay of monetary portion of the court's judgment. Entered on August 7th, the SEC has consented to the request for a stay. So let's start down here. So filed September 4th, 2024. This is page 1 of 3. We'll read it together, ladies and gentlemen, so dig in. I'm glad to see 93 people here. If you appreciate my work, consider joining Tom's Army or sending a YouTube super chat. Haven't had many of those, but as I always say, when the markets aren't doing very well, I don't expect it. You know, it's a free station after all. So come in, hit that like button, and let's try to spread some knowledge around, as I like to say. George, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. And that is my face superimposed on there. I kid you not. And take advantage right now. Look in the video description below for HOTCOIN and BITUNIX so that you can find a way to trade XRP worldwide with the lowest spot and leverage trading fees. With no VPN or KYC. Unless you send or receive from a bank account, at this point, there's no reason not to. Some people ask me how I withdraw off of these exchanges. If you have a Cash App, you can simply send Bitcoin over there if you want. If you don't want to send it to a bank account, because I don't. I find other alternative ways. Well, sometimes I do, but it goes through a different exchange. So, but anyhow, just take advantage of it while it's out there. We never know what tomorrow is going to bring. So, Securities and Exchange Commission, Plaintiff versus Ripple Labs, Inc., Bradley Garlinghouse, and Christian A. Larsons. Hey, is this a new member of Tom's Army? I can't see the name because it's all the way at the bottom, but that's unbelievable. You have made me the happiest person in the world today. To think I was 50-50 on doing this live just because I was exhausted. It's been a busy couple weeks here, and it just caught up to me today a little bit. And Smitty, thank you so much for joining Tom's Army in your first month. I know it's your first month because that's the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Yes, that's my face superimposed on there. I thank you so much for that. That's incredible. So, proposed order staying enforcement of monetary portion of final judgment. So, under Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 62, this court hereby stays enforcement of the monetary portion of the final judgment entered August 7, 2000. Oh, wait a minute. We need to read the other one first. Let's see. Okay, so we need to read this first. So, this is official document 975. This one's 976 below. So, official document 975 filed on September 4th, 2024. That's a 2-page document. So, via ECF, Honorable Annalise Therese, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. SEC versus Ripple Labs. Dear Judge Therese, I write on behalf of defendant Ripple Labs, Inc., Ripple, to request the stay of the monetary portion of the court's judgment entered on August 7, 2024 as ECF number 974. Plaintiff, Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC has consented to this request to the terms, wait a minute, where the heck was I at? Judgment August 7th, Plaintiff, Securities and Exchange Commission has consented to this request and to the terms of the proposed order that Ripple is also submitting today. The monetary portion of the judgment is currently due to be paid this coming Friday, September 6th, and Ripple respectively asked this court act on this day request before this date. Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 62P states that at any time after a judgment is entered, a party may obtain a stay by providing a bond or other security. The current version of the rule, as amended in 2018, makes explicit the opportunity to post security in a form other than a bond. Federal Revision, blah, 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 Committee Note 2018 Amendment. Here, Ripple and the SEC have agreed to an alternative security proposal in which Ripple will place 111% of the judgment amount, the fund, in a bank account in the name of Ripple's counsel Kellogg Hansen, Todd Figel, and Frederick PLLC Kellogg Hansen. The terms to which the parties have agreed are set forth in the proposed order and briefly summarized below for the court's convenience. Under the proposed order, the stay will last until 30 days after the time to appeal expires or the resolution of any appeal. During that time, post-judgment interest will occur in the SEC's favor as set forth in the judgment. Ripple will retain beneficial ownership, but no control of the fund and any interest that occurs by virtue of its deposit in the bank account. Kellogg Hansen will be responsible for ensuring that the fund remains in the account until released by mutual. The same amendment is also made clear by changing the former term appellant to party that Rule 62B authorizes a stay before a notice of appeal has been filed. CF, blah, blah, blah. Here, neither party has yet filed a notice of appeal, and the time to do so expires 60 days after the judgment. The judgment becomes enforceable, however, 30 days after the entry. Page 2. Consent of the parties, or by order of the court, but will have no other duties, fiduciary or otherwise, to the SEC. The party's intent is the fund should be released only when used by consent or by further order of this court to satisfy the monetary portion of the judgment when Ripple satisfies the monetary portion of the judgment through other means, or when the judgment is reversed should the Court of Appeals vacate or modify the judgment. The parties will attempt in good faith to reach an agreement about the appropriate term or treatment of the fund and will submit to the court any disputes that they cannot resolve. The consent request protects the interests of the SEC in ensuring that funds will be available to pay the judgment and the interest of Ripple in avoiding the unnecessary expense and inconvenience of a supersedis bond in the amount required for judgment. It will not adversely affect the interests of any third party or the public. Accordingly, Ripple respectfully requests that the court approve and issue the proposed order. Respectfully submitted, yada, yada, yada. So now let's go to page, let's see, we had page 1. So under federal rule, so this is let's just say the imposed order, staying enforcement, or monetary judgment. So this is in regards to what we just read, all entered today. So imposed order, staying enforcement of monetary portion of final judgment. Under federal rule of civil procedure 62, this court hereby stays enforcement of the monetary portion of the final judgment entered August 7, 2024 as ECF number 974, the judgment. The stay imposed by the order, the stay shall last until 30 days after the latter of A, the expiration of time to appeal the judgment with no appeal filed, or B, a decision by the Court of Appeals resolving any appeal taken. The stay does not apply to any other part of the judgment, including but not limited to the judgment's injunctive relief. The court further orders as follows. 1. During the stay, post-judgment interest shall accrue as provided in the judgment. Can I ask everybody, do you find this important? Obviously, many didn't, as we had almost 100 people, and now there's still 86. But I always find it amazing that so many people will leave when we go away from the technicals. I mean, this is, you own XRP, you want to buy XRP. Don't you want to know the facts? Don't you want to know what's actually happening? It's amazing how many people in the XRP community and crypto as a whole could give a rat's ass about the fundamentals. It's unbelievable. No, my friend, who is a lawyer, just said it means nothing. Well, your friends, what do you mean? Your friend's a lawyer, it means something. It absolutely means something. What do you mean it means no? That's fine, it's his opinion, but lawyers will be lawyers, I suppose. Well, but because your friend said it, obviously it's useless, right? 1. During the stay, post-judgment, interest shall accrue as provided in the judgment. 2. Promptly after the entry of this order, defendant Ripple Labs Inc. Ripple. Maybe it has no use, maybe there is no benefit. I just think, I think that's just an easy up. There's nothing to it. No, that there's something to it. If there was nothing to it, they wouldn't have filed for a stay. That means that in Ripple's mind, they believe that the SEC is more likely to appeal. That's what it actually means if you read below the lines. From a law standpoint, yeah, maybe it doesn't do anything. From a case standpoint, maybe nothing. But it definitely means something. He said the money is on hold, but not an appeal. Yeah, that's what a stay is. The money goes into an account, and then it has to be paid at a later date. It doesn't get taken out of your account. That's what the stay is. The money's not actually being paid. It's just put in a bank account. So that if it actually is agreed on, it'll be there with interest. So, I don't know. Anyhow, promptly after the entry of this order, defendant Ripple Labs Inc. Ripple shall deposit 111% of the amount of the civil penalty into an interest-bearing account with Truist Bank, the fund, in the name of Ripple's counsel, Kellogg, Hansen, Todd, Figel, and Frederick. Kellogg's Hansen. I almost feel like we're talking about cereal now. Ripple shall retain, and this is page 2 of 3. 3, Ripple shall retain beneficiary ownership of the fund and all accrued interest, but it shall not have no control over the fund. So, this is what the importance of the stay is, so that they remain in control of the funds. So they remain in beneficial ownership. Even though they can't release the funds or take them back out, it's still in their name until this goes through. So it's not just being sent over for a judgment, and then at a later time, if an appeal is sent and overturned, they don't have to, or an appeal favors them, they don't have to get the money back. No. I don't think so, Lee. Oh, drawing interest. Yeah, you're right. Because you'd have to compound interest on it. You're absolutely right. I wasn't even thinking about the compounded interest on every single part of the interest that accrues over time. Great call there. Actually, you're probably more right about that, honestly, Lee. That's actually, honestly, excellent. Thank you for sharing that, my friend. Silver, welcome in. Welcome in. What's up, brother? Hope you're doing well. Number 4, Kellogg Hansen shall ensure the deposited amount remains in the fund unless and until it is released either under a further order of the court or by mutual consent of Ripple and Plaintiff Securities and Exchange Commission. The SEC collectively with Ripple, the parties, with notification to the court. The parties have advised the court that they intend that the fund will be released when A, the parties mutually consent that the fund be used to satisfy the monetary portion of the judgment. B, Ripple pays the monetary portion of the judgment by other means. C, the Court of Appeals or United States Supreme Court reverses the judgment in relevant part. Or D, the court orders that the fund be released to the Securities and Exchange Commission to satisfy the monetary portion of the judgment. 5, in the event that the Court of Appeals modifies the judgment or vacates the judgment and remands for further proceedings, the party shall attempt in good faith to reach agreement about the effect of such a ruling on appropriate treatment of the fund. 6, in the event of any dispute between Ripple and the SEC over the proper disposition of the fund. Actually, the one who said that their friend said, who was a lawyer, said that there was no relevance. So does he believe that this is going to be appealed, or does he believe that this is kind of a sideshow then? And that the appeal is no closer than it was in the beginning, but this is kind of just an optic. Maybe it's a good way for liquidity to be grabbed. People see this and they fear an appeal, and then the markets end up dropping even more, and retail doesn't pull in. Maybe it's a good way to do something like that too. I'm very interested now. I believe when I was responding it was a little strong, but it's just I was trying to read. But I'm trying to figure out exactly what his point of view is. So I apologize if it came off hot, but that's not how it was intended. Not this time, at least. 6, in the event of any dispute between Ripple and the SEC over the proper disposition of the fund that cannot be resolved through good faith negotiations, the parties may submit that dispute to this court for resolution. 7, this order does not impose upon Kellogg Hansen any duty to the Securities and Exchange Commission or otherwise, including any fiduciary duty, except to ensure that the fund remains in the amount until released pursuant to the terms of this order or of any subsequent order of this court. I think it's a strategic move as well, Lee, by Ripple. I do, just in case things take a weird turn. And then page 3, the final page, 3 of 3. 8, this order is without prejudice to Ripple's ability to seek an extension of the stay, including an extension pending the filing of a petition for rehearing or bank, or certiorari, I don't know. It is also without prejudice to the SEC's ability to oppose any extension. So ordered, dated New York, New York, and Elisa Perez, United States District Judge. So I think that's interesting. I do think it's interesting that that has happened. We always want to stay. We always want to stay out ahead of this. But yeah, I do believe it is. I think, Syrian, you're right. It is to protect the shareholders. Oh yeah. After all, Ripple Labs wants to make sure, Freemasons know how to put the peasants under a spell. Yeah, well, I'm not going to disagree there, Jason. They also know how to keep the masses away from something, too, by putting out a lot of false bravado. The unfortunate thing is 55 to 60% of the YouTubers we watch on XRP are paid opposition. I mean, I hate saying it, but they're paid opposition. So, put out the unrealistic expectations. Put out the unrealistic fear, uncertainty, and doubt. So when you find somebody good, or you find somebody you trust, or you find some real information, it's a beautiful thing to stand behind. The XRP market cap today is up about 146.254 million, nothing major. Just under 0.5% to 31.484 billion. And that's at about, it's in the consolidatory phase. It's no better off today than it was yesterday, but it's also a little bit worse off this week than it was last week. Because we had a chance last week where this could have been maybe a tiny bit of, an opportunity to be able to hold, but it did show a reversal. We were not stressed, we were frustrated about the fact, or not frustrated, but not us. Not this community. We don't play the victim. We're the winners. We're positivity over negativity. So we take in stride whatever comes next. We try to get into a good direction from a short term, from the micro, but we always make sure to expand it out into the macro, because macro we look fantastic. Many will argue that, but these cup and handles that have formed, the 6.5-year pattern that ends now in December, early January at the latest. You know, with these factors happening, being on a bullish handle that hasn't given way yet, being over the 2018 resistance right now for the first time in 6.5 years, even though we're borderline, we haven't been able to flip it officially yet. The fact that we're not just falling through it's reason to be excited. But where we're at, it does speak to the fact that maybe we do come back down to that pivot point at 27.2. Every time we've come off and bounced, because that keeps us from coming all the way to 22. So it's very important. We don't want to come all the way back down to the structure below, because there is a little bit of a setup where we had in the not so recent past, and this actually would meet up here if it would have rode this officially, but it broke out. So this area here in this consolidation, we don't want to come ever back through there. Never. Because then it opens up for a new swing low that we haven't touched since June of 22. I don't want to go back there. I never again. I'd rather not, and I'd rather just continue above the 2018 resistance, which we have for many years now, or the 2020 resistance, I should say, if you modify it. So I'd rather just stay in this area. Army, only thing they can appeal is the fine. They're idiots to appeal this. Yeah. I think it's a big mistake. They should just take the 125 million and just call it a day. Otherwise, they're gonna have a lot of egg on their face, and that's to say it lightly. So the market cap leaves something to be desired because we're trending down. The XRP Bitcoin pairing, I don't want to necessarily say it leaves something to be desired, but when we start looking at it, that's a big bear flag that formed after we moved here. Let me get rid of this. After we came off of here, it looked like a bear flag formed. Like, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but that looks like a prototypical bear. I mean, you guys can tell me what you see here. Does this look like, and let me remodify this so you guys can see this in proper context if we're going to look at it like this, because the pattern absolutely has shifted on us. Now we could go like this. I'm trying to figure out the best way, probably like this. So I mean, we could have a chance of not having a bear flag play out, but we've got to get out of this. Like, we've got to get out of this with the XRP Bitcoin pairing. I'm sorry, but we do. We have to get out of here. If we don't get out of here, it lowers the target. Like, you're talking about a possibility of coming down to 899 again. I don't think that's far-fetched, folks. And the reason why I'm saying that is we've already had 2 hits of resistance there. Or 3 hits now. One right here at the 1076. And man, did we make a lot of money off of this pair. It makes me so sad. So many people say how all we can do is lose money. Or if anybody who watches me only loses money. It's just a shame that so many people could be thrown off just by some schloozeball who comes in and just says something who's never even watched 2 seconds, and people are like, oh, you know what? Yep, I shouldn't watch this. So much money's been made in 23 and 24. Oh my God, it's been insane. Not just in crypto, commodities, precious. It's just been unbelievable here. So it absolutely would open the door here to a drop down if we don't get out of here. I'm telling you guys, it's set up. We don't have to do anything. This is already set in stone if it doesn't break out of this consolidation with the XRP Bitcoin pairing. And that would mean there's going to be some downward pressure on either the XRP price, or it's falling faster than Bitcoin is, or they're both pumping, but Bitcoin's pumping faster. In this case, I don't know. Wow, that's the first comment I've seen about my mom in a few days. I did talk about that a few days ago. Yeah, KG, thank you so much. Yeah, she's going to be having a pretty serious surgery that is from her diverticulitis that she's had for a couple decades, but it is really bad. Parts of her stomach is, in fact, anybody who knows about that, it's not good. So they're going to end up having to take part of her intestines out. It's not going to be nice. It's not going to be pretty. My grandma, when she was alive, her mom, and you know, addiction, stay away from the pills, stay away from addiction. That's all I'm going to tell you. It breaks your body down. My grandma, she had to have most of her stomach removed. And my mom, it's not going to be pretty. So, you know, it's something I've been dreading for a while, but it's something that she's going to have to take care of. She's 62, and I think it's met its match. But because we have great healthcare in the USA, she has an HMO. So unless she just shows up in the emergency room dying, she has to go get a referral, and then they'll go to the surgery. It's an interesting thing we go through. But anyhow, You know, I appreciate the question, but yeah, she's definitely going through a trying time right now. That's for sure. That's for sure. I definitely will, Lee. I definitely will, for sure. For sure. I appreciate the kind words, everybody. But it's the other reason why I always say here with crypto, with XRP, I only am interested at sub 40 cents when I buy. And then I always buy more than I'm going to hold in my wallet. So then I can sell some. So when we have big 75, 100% moves, I can sell if it's not my targeted move. And then when it comes back down, I add to my wallet. I did it this year when it was at 38. So I was, or 39, somewhere around there. I was very happy about that. Thank you, everybody, for the prayers. I really appreciate that. When do I trade on HOTCOIN? What do you mean? When do I do copy trades? Whenever my gut tells me to take a trade. There is no rhyme or reason. But I do trade on HOTCOIN. We do copy trade. I get a lot of questions. Right now, we started with a $100 challenge. I think it's up to $366. So we're up about 266% roughly on our $100 challenge. But there is no rhyme or reason when I trade. I copy trade. I don't like to short. FYI. I like to long the market so that I can, pay attention to the market, and it helps me with spot as well. But Smitty, when I see an opportunity right now, the last trade I made was, I believe, on Sunday or Monday in the copy trade. I think it was Monday. Yeah, Monday, because we made about 18% on, between 3 trades, we made about just over 18% on, Matic. So that was pretty nice. But those are the last trades I've made. Those are the last trades I made. But I'm a very conservative trader. So there's 27 people that follow me. So even if you look at it just $100, that's $2,700. I think I started following you on HOTCOIN. Oh, excellent. Yeah. I do the copy trading on HOTCOIN. So yeah, that's where you would have followed me, my friend. If that was what you were asking, I apologize. Yes, I do it on copy trade. Yeah, I know. Where's Tanya at? Where's some of the other ladies? Exactly. No, it's a trying time in crypto, and a lot of people have to work. Like Tanya and Miss Vicky and them, they're on the other side of the continent. Well, the other side of the world for me. The other side of the country. Well, not my country, a different country. They're not part of the United States. But yeah, I'm just pleased that we're able to I started following you on Grindr, brother. On Grindr? What that was Grindr? I'm old. Cut me a break. No. Bitcoin up 1.15% this evening at 58,148. DJRC, welcome in, and thanks for being in your first month of Tom's Army with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Love seeing that. Love seeing that. So yeah, real quick, sorry, the XRP Bitcoin pairing before I leave, that's what we're looking at here. And subsequently, if we were to break out from this consolidation, I'm just not sure how it works. Oh, here, let me go into HOTCOIN. Now, when I type this, I'm going to have to pause this real quick, okay? And not because I don't trust anybody, but when I put my password, let me pause this real quick. Hey, what? Okay, apparently I entered something wrong. Sorry, you're going to have to be paused again, unfortunately. Oh, maybe you guys can still see it. I don't know. But it changes. I change it every time. So even if everybody's seen it, I'll just change it again real quick. Plus I have my authenticator that changes every 60 seconds. So So if you're copy trading, so what you do is you have to put money in the futures, okay? So first things first, if you're looking to copy trade or you're looking to trade, and then we're gonna go into Bitcoin. Then we're going into Bitcoin. Just joking, don't worry. Okay. But if you're looking to copy trade, first thing you do, go in the video description below or pinned comments of my updates. Go to my homepage if you don't want to do that. See how it says XRP Future Millionaire? So go to search, type in XRP Future Millionaire. All you got to do is hit my Tom's Army logo. And then you see where it says BITUNIX plus 5 more links. Click that. For HOTCOIN, you're just going to click HOTCOIN if you're going to copy trade. You can also trade on BITUNIX or BLOFIN. You can send a donation via Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal. It's all right here as well if you don't want to do YouTube. But this is how you do it. You sign up there, and then once you do that, you go through the sign up, you deposit money, and you put it in on the futures in USDT because that's how they copy trade it. Taki, welcome in. It's been a long time since I was here last. How is your hair? Because I'm afraid you may have the longest hair in the world. Yeah. I'm glad you asked. So the hair has still not been cut. We're on month 14 now. It's been 14 months. Or month 15, I should say. So, yeah. So it's still going strong. I'm glad to see you in here, friend. So once you put the money in the futures account, as I have $608 right now, after you do that, make sure it's in USDT, you go to copy, and then go to search. Type in XRP. You'll see my name right when you type in XRP. It's XRP Future MIL. You click on it. Or we're up 246, I'm sorry. So on our $100 challenge right now, we're up $246.16, as you can see on the P&L. We have 30 followers now. Wow. And our most recent, if we look at this over a year, you know, steadily up, but there are bumps in the roads and whatnot. But over time, I believe in what we're doing. And then the order data, the last 3 trades that I was talking about, the last 3 we took, one got stopped out for 2%. The users made 86 bucks. The next one was 6.57%. And this was on September 2nd, so 2 days ago. And the users made $204 in their P&L. And then the last but not least, we made 10% on the nose. And the followers made $315.26. So that was good. On Labor Day, our followers made 600 bucks. Some days our followers are going to lose, and that means I lost as well. So that's what we're looking at. If I can get up just another, where's it at? Right now we're at 47.97% ROI. The moment that says 50%, I can become a intermediate trader, which is very hard to do. But you have to have certain things. And once I get to that, I won't say junior anymore. I'll be intermediate. So we're very close. 1 or 2 more successful trades and we'll be there. So I hope that helped you figure out how to join via HOTCOIN if you want to copy trade. The beautiful news is BITUNIX. For anybody who signed up on BITUNIX. And I encourage everybody to try both. But BITUNIX, supposedly, after the 10th of this month, they're going to be allowing copy trade. Now I'm going to have to do some deep testing, as I won't bring it on the 10th. I'm going to test it and do what I need to do. But that'll be another way to do it. So we'll have open orders. It'll still be the $100. And, yeah, we'll do it the same way. So I look forward to that. Really look forward to that. So XRP Bitcoin paying, remember, 965. If we break out of here, which, honestly, with everything, the current narrative, the current trajectory, it seems less likely that it's going to break out. Just because it looks like we probably could have formed a bear flag here, possibly as well up here, and we haven't exalted ourselves. But let's say we did break up. The technical break up because we should have resistance or upward targets and lower targets. You know, by the way, I'm so glad that I did the live today. Sometimes, like today, I was really tired, and I was like, you know, no one's going to care if I don't. But, you know, some stuff has come out during this live that had I not come live, I would have never talked about. And now, you know, I feel like it was very important. Taki's here. Taki is here. Taki. That's a long-time viewer. Somebody who's been here since, I dare say, the very beginning. When most of you who are watching now might not have even known I existed. So it's always awesome to see the blast from the past. And I would like to welcome in the new members and the old members that have found their way back to the community. You're both so very important to me and dedicated and just integral to my community. The older members allowed me to make this a place of positivity over negativity, not a place of judgment. We're helpful, not hurtful. We play the winners, not the victims, which means we have to be positive, not negative. We have to have all the information from a news and charting perspective alike. And we are about love. We push through love. We get rid of the darkness through love. We bring the light in a world filled with darkness. The darkness proves to us how great the light is. The hate encourages us how important the love is. The hate encourages us why we need to be kind. Kind always wins. Love always wins. You know why? Because when everybody's loving, you start to become unified. And when you become unified, you start to motivate each other. And you start to feel it. It's almost as if a common bond has been formed. And now you're feeding off of each other adrenaline. Not a drug, adrenaline. It's quite the opposite. A lot of depression happens when it's hate-filled. You feed off of everybody's depression. You feed off the anger. You feed off the bad energy. That's what we don't want. That's what we don't want. So I appreciate all the old members that have helped us push us in that direction. The new members, as slowly as you come in these times, but as fast as you might come in the near future, it's your job, and it's so important, not a job, but it's your duty to continue that message. The world's filled with hate. Not here. We're winners here. We're loving. We're helpful. I teach my kids to be loving, not hateful. I don't believe in fighting unless I have to. I don't bring violence upon anybody, and I don't believe in taking somebody's innocence. So if you take somebody's innocence, I believe that's the ultimate sin along with killing. That's just my opinion. You don't have to believe that. But to take somebody's innocence is to kill their inner child, and that's not okay. So we do this from a place of positivity. So if you like what we have to preach here, what we have to teach here as well, increase our reach and hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel and join the over 23,100 subscribers, as we're just about 18 away from 23,200. So that's the XRP Bitcoin pairing and a message within. So it's either we go up to 1173 sat level or back down to the 691 sat level, and that's a pretty big drop. That's a big differential too. That's 100% differential too, if you look at it in terms of how much you would have in your pocket. From 1172 down to here, that's 40% in terms, but that's 40% drop, right? But if it comes down here and then bounces up there, it's a 40% drop, right? It's funny how this happens. But if you play it back up, it's a 40% drop or a 71% gain. So there's always room on either side. Fortunately for us, and we'll get into Bitcoin here in a sec, fortunately we were spot on so far with B2 Gold. That sell signal played perfectly. I told everybody when it first came down here, don't panic. No reason to sell. I didn't sell either. But when it comes up here, if it gets rejected, I'm out. Either 280 to 283, don't care where you do it, but it's got to be somewhere. Once you get the rejection, you don't have to get it dead on. And you didn't have to, but I sold at $2.82. I was very transparent, and I said it might bite me in the ass, but the only way I'd buy it now is if it got on top of $2.92 if it didn't break down. And now, fortunately for me, it's come down and it closed today at $2.65. So you figure that's 17 cents a share. And everybody always asks me, well, Tom, what's the importance of this? Because you could just add more money, right? Well, maybe not. Maybe we don't have any more money to add. So I had 3,072 shares times, so it's fallen 17 cents since I sold, times 0.17. That's $522 I would be down. So now let's take $522 and my buy target, let's say it gets to $2.58, or divided, sorry, not times. 522 divided by 2.58, whoops. That's an additional 208 shares that I can buy for free. So now instead of having 3,070 something, I would have almost 3,300 with the same money. Not saying that I advise everybody to do that, because remember the first time around I said I'm not doing it when it dropped down. But now it gave us the sell signal, so there's nothing I could do. So I sold, tried to be very beneficial, or I tried to be very transparent. But obviously this could be up 10% tomorrow, and then at 292 I'll just have to buy it on the top side, and then I won't gain anything. So So I'm new to crypto, so I have lots of questions. Fire away, Smitty. That's why I come on live every single day at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, unless there's something out of the ordinary. Daniel, thank you so much for the $20 donation. Holy smokes. I did not expect a donation during today's live. Hell, I didn't expect anybody to join Tom's Army either, so I've been pleasantly surprised. Just pleasantly surprised. But I feel like today's my best live, and I know it's weird. It's the best live I've done in 13 days, and I know for a fact because I've watched back the last 2 weeks, and to me, they've missed the mark, and not the mark and not the lives. I feel like we need to make sure we always focus on the positivity and the inclusiveness and the overwhelming unity that we have here. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So Bitcoin right now up 702 points. I need to read the rest of that donation comment when I get another comment. Bitcoin really had me believing it was going to come down likely near 53,979. Was 55,600 close enough? I don't think so. For the general, the man, the myth, and the future legend. Ooh, I need to finish reading that. I don't think... Man, I really think if it bounced off 53,979, it would have catapulted us. Thanks for all you do. Your light always comes through. God bless. Thank you, Daniel. Not only for the message or being in Tom's Army for your second month with the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News, but also that $20 donation. That's so incredibly generous. Thank you so much. Wow. Yep. Mandoline, we read about this. Make sure you go back to the beginning because we read about the official documents. I actually pulled it off of James K. Phelan here. So if you're not following James K. Phelan, I'm sorry I'm bouncing around a lot, but I'm very excited. I'm always very excited to do this and very jumpy because I got so much to talk about in such a short amount of time. But yeah, make sure you go here and look at James K. Phelan. He has all 5 pages. All 5 pages here. Watching from Warsaw, Indiana. Excellent, my brother. Not too far from me, David. Not too far from me in the great state of Michigan as he's enduring down there in the beautiful land of Indiana. So yeah, make sure you guys go look here. And then while we're on this page, before we go back to Bitcoin, I just want to see if anybody else has said anything about this. So let's see if Fred Rispoli has said anything. I wouldn't expect him to say anything. Brad Garlinghouse, maybe, maybe not. So, Brad Garlinghouse, with new program, this was from a day ago, with new programmability in the works for the XRP Ledger, something the XRP community has rightly been asking for, and the growing opportunity for Ripple's enterprise products to serve crypto-native customers such as Futureverse using Ripple custody. The foundations of crypto infrastructure serving real-world use cases are steadily becoming more robust by the day. So, and then Ripple, their ex said, Ripple is on the ground this week in Korea and Japan, starting off with a few key announcements, all in service of the goal to strengthen the foundations of crypto infrastructure to support blockchain utility and usability for institutional adoption. So that's Brad Garlinghouse, what he said. Let's see if anybody else has said anything. I like to go through this every so often. Oh, we already know Johnny Deaton won his seat, I believe. So we'll get to that when we get to Johnny Deaton. He's down a little bit far. I encourage you to follow every single person we're clicking on right now on X. They're everybody who I believe is the most important when you're watching this case. Until you get the UB2B, because you're going to want to follow UB2B as well. It's just the way to do it. So Stuart Elderody, I'm not sure. He shared the same, the terms crypto. What is this? Hey, he shared the FTX stuff. The terms crypto asset security is nowhere to be found in any statute. It's a fabricated term with no legal basis. The SEC needs to stop trying to deceive judges by using it. So he shared this. So the FTX trading. So the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission follows this reservation of rights to confirmation of the DEPT Joint Chapter 11 plan. 1. The SEC is the federal agency responsible for regulating the U.S. securities markets, protecting investors, enforcement of federal securities laws. On December 13, 2022 and December 21st, 2022, the SEC filed complaints against the founders of FTX Trading Ltd. and its former insiders. Allegedly, they engaged in a scheme to defraud equity and investors. We'll read. I just want to read through both. Defrauding the platform's customers. 3. The debtors' portfolio includes crypto asset securities which The debtors may seek to monetize and or distribute pursuant to the plan, and the debtors are exploring different distribution options, including potentially distribution stablecoins to certain creditors. Defining cash to include U.S. dollar pegged stablecoins. In addition, the debtors have not identified the distribution agent, which may potentially distribute stablecoins to creditors under the plan. The SEC is not opining as to the legality under the federal securities laws of the transactions outlined in the plan, and reserves its right to challenge transactions involving crypto assets. So it's always good to monitor these pages, everybody. It's always good to monitor this. So, fun fact, in 1976, this was 6 days ago, the SEC ruled that art galleries, even when promoting and selling to buyers that had investment motives, didn't need to register with SEC. So that's just something he shared, but that's not relevant to today's stuff. Let's go on. Anybody who stuck it out, which most of you are leaving, but that's okay. We're almost done anyhow. Less than 5 minutes left. David Joel Katz says, anything recent? Mr. Schwartz. Apparently none of his stuff is popping up, so apparently he doesn't have anything to say. Let's try one more. Let's go to Chris Larson. Nothing recent, I don't believe. No, nothing recent that we need. And then Johnny Deaton, we know he won his seat, but I don't know if he's going to talk about it. Congratulations to Deaton for Senate for securing the Republican nomination to take on Elizabeth Warren this November. Warren's divisive rhetoric and harmful policies have hurt Massachusetts and our nation. Let's bring accountability back to Massachusetts. Johnny Deaton, and this would be a win for Ripple. I don't know how big of a win, but we definitely need ones with similar vision in the important positions here that, I mean, they're useless anyhow because they all fight and bite the same hand. But, it is what it is. Just from a optical perspective, I'd much rather see Johnny Deaton there in that seat out of Massachusetts than Elizabeth Warren. 100%. But, I'm not political because I know both sides just fight and agree to what the central banks say. So, I mean, anyhow, what I am still looking at here is, do we come down to 53,979 or do we invalidate this drop and start getting on top of these areas? We are very close to revalidating the death cross that would absolutely validate this drop. So we got plenty of room that we could dump down in the daily. So if you're asking me, there's a very real chance that we're going to dump down here to 53,979. Yes, JW, that is all I'm going into the dangerous talk. I won't be talking on the dark side anymore for a while. Somebody may have got a little unsavory about something I said, and I may have got a warning on YouTube yesterday. So you won't hear as much conspiracy stuff at all. I don't want to take the chance of getting taken away. Yeah, it does look like another... Yes, it does in the shorter time frames. I agree with you. It's unfortunate. But this looks like a right shoulder is just building here. It looks like just a right shoulder. So it's either Bitcoin. I think that it's more than likely in time going to work its way back down to this 53,000. And now it's right around 54,000 area. It looks like it needs the catapult off of there. I was hoping it would. But we'll see how it plays out. If it does push out, 67,000 is over the top. Before we leave, just make sure one last time with XRP. We've got this drawn out pretty good here. If it breaks up, it would have a target of 60.9 cents on the short-term descending consolidation. If we get rejected and we break back down, 54.7 underneath, which is the 2018 resistance acting as support, then down to 52.8. If that's broken, the downside support is 48.6 cents. Have a blessed evening, everybody. I greatly, greatly appreciate each and every one of you who have tuned in this evening for this live. Before you leave, make sure to hit that like button. Share this on social media. And don't forget to, stay emotionless. Don't forget that we are at a momentary... It's a moment of time that is going to look so small 10 years from now. This window is going to be so incredibly small down the road. And we all think 2030 is far away. When I first started on YouTube, it was March of 21. We're almost into 2025 now. We've cut half that time off. So as long as it seems like it's going to be, it goes so very quick. It just goes so quick. It feels like this year is the fastest that I've been a part of in my 40 years, but man, oh man. My lawyer friend just said XRP is a joke. I'm getting worried. Oh, well, honestly, if you're getting worried about what a lawyer said, I understand he's your friend, but being a lawyer or not, he's not going to know anything more about XRP than we already know. I break it down with each and every one of you from a judicial standpoint and also from a technical standpoint. I think there's going to be a lot of people that regret that feeling. Everybody thinks it's a joke, and that's what I appreciate. I'm glad he thinks it's a joke. I'm glad the lawyer thinks it's a joke. I'm glad retail thinks it's a joke. I'm glad that the national narrative thinks XRP is a joke. I'm glad everybody who owns crypto thinks it's a joke, because I think one day the only joke's going to be, the joke's going to be on everyone who thinks it's a joke. That's just my opinion. Right now, crypto fear and greed index is 27 in fear, and we talked last week, it looked like it was on a head and shoulders and it needed to come up to the low teens, or come down to the low teens in extreme fear. That's my analysis of the market. Thank you all, and I'll catch you tomorrow evening at 6:30 p.m.